Good afternoon and welcome to the Pharr International Bridge Board meeting for Wednesday, September the 25th. We'll start with a roll call. Here. 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 Okay, we need a motion to excuse Mr. Campero, Mr. Garza.
A motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Beas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, the invocation by Luis.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, bless all our endeavors, bless all our people, and bless this meeting. Guide us in our discussions, guide us in every step we take, and enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. For this we pray. Amen.
Amen. We'll continue with the director's administrative report, and Luis will take it from here.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administration, Luis Bazan, Bridge Director for the record. We're going to be going over item 2A, Crossings and Revenues Report for August 2024. On slide number 2, bridge crossings. This includes all vehicles, totaled 111,425 in August. That's an increase of 7,246 vehicles, or almost a 7% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. Going into slide number 3, car crossings totaled 53,826 in August. That's an increase of 7,785 cars, or a 16.91% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. Now we do the comparisons, and again, we're just going to be doing car crossings for this one, concentrating on the percentages and the daily averages. We're looking at the bridges for Gateway, a decrease of 9%. Their daily average is 3,101. Veterans Los Tomates, under minus 3%. Their daily average is 5,144. Free Trade Los Indios, up 24%. Daily average 1,428. So total for Brownsville is under 2%, and their daily average combined is 9,673. Del Rio is up 4%. Daily average of 5,070. Donna is up by almost 16% with a daily average of 2,320. Eagle Pass is up 2%, daily average of 8,646. Isleta Zaragoza and El Paso is up 11%, and that is 9,212 daily average. Stanton Lerdo is down 15% with a daily average of 4,764. So total for El Paso is up 1%. For a daily average of 13,975. Laredo is up 5%, daily average of 14,447. McAllen Hidalgo is down 1%, daily average of 8,347. Anzalduas is up 21%, daily average of 4,850. So total for McAllen Anzalduas is up 6%, daily average of 13,196. Pharr is up almost 17%. And our daily average is 1,794. Progreso is down 1.17%, daily average of 1,400, and Roma is up 5.16%, daily average of 1,939. We move over to slide number 5, southbound truck crossings. These totaled 57,599 in August. That's a decrease of 539 trucks, or a 0.93% decrease during the same time period last fiscal year. Going to the southbound truck comparisons chart. Again, we start with Anzalduas, empties only. They're up 9%, daily average of 164 trucks. Veterans Los Tomates is up 1%, daily average of 811. Free Trade Los Indios is up 152% with a daily average of 106. So total for Brownsville is up 8%, with daily average of 916. Del Rio is down 12% with a daily average of 199 trucks. Eagle Pass is up 16% with a daily average of 735 trucks. Isleta Zaragoza and El Paso is up 4% with a daily average of 2,086 trucks. Laredo is up 2% with a daily average of 8,824 trucks. Again, Pharr is down by basically 1%, and the daily average that we're crossing is 1,920. Progreso is up 21% with a daily average of 263, and Roma is up 31% with a daily average of 33 trucks. Slide number 7, northbound trucks totaled 61,969 in August. That's an increase of 2,584 trucks, or a 4.35% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. Breaking it down further, that's 41,028 full trucks and 20,941 empty trucks. A further breakdown shows that 16,364 of the full trucks were ag trucks, which represents 26% of all the produce imports. Going into slide number 8, combined total traffic of northbound and southbound trucks in Pharr is 119,568 in August. That's an increase of 2,045, or a 1.74% increase over the same time period last fiscal year. We go into slide number 9, southbound truck crossings comparison by axle, and there are going to be some noticeable changes again as compared to last month. Up by 5,396 cars. That represents 48% of all the crossings in August. Down by 29, and that's on the 2 axle trucks, and that represents 3% of all the crossings in August. Up by 1,067 3 axle trucks, representing 6% of all crossings in August. Up by 26 4 axle trucks, representing 1% of all crossings in August. And up by 564 5 axle trucks, which represents 36% of all crossings in August. And it's down by 43 in the 6 axle truck category, and that represents 0.1% of all crossings in August. Going into the total revenues, on the revenue side, revenues totaled $1,839,885 for August, and that's an increase of $436,753, or a 31.13% increase over the same time period last fiscal year. That concludes my crossings and revenues report for August. Any questions?
On 5 axles, is there any way that you can determine si es tanker or si es dry van? Or
Sí, look, we can break it down further.
question is if the industry, you know, the local industry like maquiladoras or whatever, see how
Sure.
they're doing. Si están cruzando más o menos, I mean, vans wise. You know
Well,
what
si
I
te
mean?
fijas, those 6 axles are going to be your complete,
That
oil
is-
and gas,
yeah, that is
energy
correct,
sector.
yeah.
I know that in the 5 axle category, there are some hazmat trucks that are enclosed boxes.
Right.
We can break it down further, yeah. We should have a report on that.
Right.
I don't think we have any other questions, Luis.
Excuse me?
I don't think we have any other questions,
Okay.
Luis, if you want to go to the next one.
So going on to item 2B, finance report for August 2024. Jamison Merrick, our finance director, is here to give you a full scope on that. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Jamison, yeah. Eddie Gutierrez. Sorry, Jamison.
Good afternoon, board members, city manager Cynthia. For the record, my name is Eddie Gutierrez. I'm the financial analyst, financial consultant, whatever the title is now. So, but I'm here to report on the finances and also on the recapture rate. So first off, here. Right off the bat, we're going to get into the bridge revenues. You can see the bridge revenues, total revenues for through the month of August is $20,821,595. Of that, 87% of that consists of the toll fees, which is $18,069,649. And then you have the credit cards at $186,000. You have interest on the bond at $599,000. You got the peso exchange at $82,000, and then $228,000 for rental income. And then the other is actually what's funded from the bond revenue, which is $1,600,000, and then $4,000 or about $5,000 of that comes from miscellaneous income, and some from NSF fees on that. So total revenues for through the month of August is $20,821,000. And then the next slide is the operating expenses. The operating expenses is at $7,248,189. Of that, 55% basically consists of the debt service, which is $3,973,000, and then you have followed up by the personnel, which is $1,322,000, and then contractual comes in at 10% of that. Of that, that's about 83% of the total operating expenses. The others follow. You have supplies at $193,451. That is rental, equipment, maintenance and repairs, vehicle usage. So everything's thrown in that other at $451,000. And then you have capital expenditures at $82,000, bank fees at $193,000, and then you have Cameron County fees at $277,000. We have a new slide for you all. It looks kind of awkward here, but it is a lot prettier than that. I promise you that. So the operating expenses, I think we were asked to bring the operating expenses as a percentage of revenues. Two graphs here. The one on the left-hand side is telling us that the operating expenses is 35% of revenues, right? So you'll see the yellow highlighted, and then the revenues over expenditures is 65%. In the private sector, that would be net operating income, what we call that, right? But when you add both of them together, it's 100% of our revenue. So operating expenses is 35% of total operating revenues, total revenues. On the pie chart that you see to the right there, what we did, we took that 35% and broke it down further. So that 19%, debt service of 19%, that's a percentage of total revenues, okay? So it's not a percentage, like I showed you in the previous slide, of the operating expense. This is actually a percentage of the revenues, right? So it's 19% of the revenues. If you look at the personnel, the blue one up on top, that's 6%, and then you have contractual services, another 3.61. That's 29% of the operating expenses. The other ones follow there, so it's about 6% on what follows there. So we've broken it down for as a percentage of revenues as requested. Does that answer? Is that what you wanted to see, Tony?
It's a great illustration, but I think the primary question that I had was what was the percentage of the operating budget?
Oh, the operating budget. I did not break down for you, but I can
No,
break
that's
down
fine,
for you,
that's
sir.
fine, but this is good info.
Okay,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Where we are right now?
For the year, for fiscal year.
Yeah. Well, and when we do have that broken out, so let me just go to the slide after this one here. The toll collections, this is our budget, what we budgeted for the toll collection. So we budgeted through August, we budgeted $16,880,508, right? Actual for the year, we're at $18,069,649. So we're about 7% above of what we actually budgeted. And then when we compare that to last year, same time last year we were at $15,726,230. So we're, compared to last year at the same time, we're 15% higher than what we were at. So we're doing pretty good on that. So I don't know if this might answer your question, Tony. This one right here, this is our budget benchmark. We are supposed to be at 92% of our budgeted. It doesn't give you a number, it gives you percentages. We've actually spent 98%. 98% is, I have a feeling that what's happening is behind the scenes, Jameson and his team is probably making adjustments to end up the year as we need to par off, to level off to match our revenues. So I think we're pretty much in mark where we're supposed to be at as we got September dwindling down here already. And then we have the bridge bond debt, which is $37 million of that, 70% of the bridge bond debt. That's for the bridge expansion, and then DAP 15 and DAP 16, that's 30% of that. That's about $16 million that went to those projects there. This kind of breaks down what our debt service is with principal and interest. When you combine those two for the year, we're supposed to be paying $4,211,000. I think we're already pretty close to paying about $4 million of that already. So through the end of August, so we're getting pretty close to matching that up. So that's my financial presentation, but I will get you an answer on that, Tony. Okay. Any questions on the financial side of it? Okay. I'll move on to the southbound recapture rate. This is we're showing year to year here, historical from 2015 all the way to year to date 2024 on an annual basis. As you can see, for 2024, we're at 97%. That means we're capturing 97% of our northbound trucks coming back south. So and you can see during the COVID years, we had 104, 113, and 103. We grew. We had a lot of tankers coming through at that time, and we were capturing a lot of those tankers that were coming through. And so we're pretty much capturing a lot more was crossing northbound. And then this is the 2024 on a monthly basis, and you can see that we have tapered down from the 98s to 100s to about 94, 93%. That's where we're at for the year end on that. So that's where 93% capture rate for August, averaging 97 for the year. And that concludes my presentation. I'll entertain any questions if you all have any questions at this time.
No. Thank you, Eddie.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Eddie. Moving forward with our agenda here, item 2C, and this is going to be the engineer's report. Maria Rangel is out. She is our interim city engineer, so I'll be doing a quick status report on where we stand with our projects. So again, these are our capital improvement projects. We already know that DAP 15 is done. We had the ribbon cutting ceremony for that back on July the 29th. We're pending matters with TxDOT. They said by the end of this month, so hopefully we're set to go to become fully operational and get that second BSIF open and get operational. So moving forward, this is our DAP 16 project. We already know what the project consists of, and I'm going to focus on that red square there in the middle. So we received concurrence from TxDOT on August the 22nd of this year. We awarded the project at the City Commission meeting on Tuesday, September the 3rd of this year. And the next steps are basically your pre-construction meeting, which is scheduled for October the 15th, and then start construction, and that's expected anytime between October and November of this year as well. This project is basically 24 months of construction from the time that we start, so we're looking at an final quarter 2026 to finalize this project. It's a lot of brick and mortar. Now we move on to the bridge expansion project. As we know, we already did start construction. We held our groundbreaking ceremony back on August the 14th, but dirt was already moving on August the 5th. Again, concentrating in those red boxes there. The time to date is basically 51 calendar days, so that's about 11% of the total timeline of the project. And then the end of the contract is, as we mentioned, at the end of November of 2025, so that's a little bit more than a year from now. And then the contract amount, as you see there, is $47 million, right? A little bit over $47 million. And then the place to date is we have not paid anything to date. I'm happy to inform you, I sat down with the folks from Mexico 2 weeks ago for lunch, and they were basically telling me that they're going to become fully operational with their side of the span, and they're working on bringing down either the current president of Mexico or the president-elect to do an inauguration there at their facilities, and then when it become fully operational. We were out there last week when we drove by and we looked at the construction. They're pretty much at the final leg. They're supposed to be done by the end of this week, and then they start demobilizing. So we're excited about that. That gives us at least about 50% of the bridge, and then we wait on our end. But at least we'll have mobility there. We can start moving traffic. So here, just some pictures on the daily activities, the daily activity reports that they show us. Just some drilling. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to go into all the details. But this is basically part of the work that's being done.
Is this already on our side?
This is our side, yes.
Okay.
This is all our side.
They are starting from the river.
Yes,
north?
pretty much. Pretty much, yes. I'll need to double check on that. I don't think it's starting at the river. It's starting kind of in the middle. There's a middle ground there where it's actually starting, but don't quote me on that, please. And then the last project, as we've been talking about for many years now, is this truck staging or truck parking area that is sorely needed here in Pharr to be able to provide spaces for all the trucks that we're crossing through this bridge. So they're not tearing up a street, so they're not parking where they're not supposed to be parking. So basically, on this project, the City Commission awarded the project on Tuesday, September the 3rd of this year. And the next steps are we need a second TxDOT concurrence concurrence, and that's expected next month. And then the pre-construction meeting is expected also in October of this year. Start construction, similar to DAP 16, October, November 2024. I know one of the things we were looking at doing was seeing if we could prevent a full year of construction and reducing that time frame, because it's a lot of time to build out a parking lot. So, and then we're working with our engineering department and our assistant city manager to determine some of the amenities that we want to be able to provide in there, so we can get to construction that, so we can also include that from the get-go. And that concludes the engineer's report. Questions?
No, Luis. Thank you.
All right. Moving forward, item 2D, director's report. So we have a lot of things going on. We've had a lot of events, a lot of productivity here in the last few months. So we have our first annual Pharr International Bridge Truck Expo. It's just a truck expo. And this is something that we've been wanting to do for a while. I know at the time, in the past, pre-COVID, the chamber was taking the lead on this. We decided we needed to take the lead on this time. And so far, it's looking like we have pretty much a full house, right? We have what? 52 vendors, 52 exhibitors that are participating in this. We're up to almost, like, I think, over $40,000 in sponsorships, which includes the booths. And Freddie and Vanessa are working hard to ensure that this is a top-notch, top-level, high-level exposition. We do have some other showcases there. We are going to be showcasing the Pharr Border Business Advancement Initiative, and then we're going to be, which we're obviously handling with the EDC and the chamber. So we're going to have a little bit of that. There's going to be some music. It's going to be fun, and it's going to, more importantly, showcase our area, our region, and how important transportation is for the Pharr International Bridge. We, as you can see there, it's a truck showcase, job fair, truck parts and accessories, wheels and tires, insurance, medical cards, things of that nature. So please come by and join us. This is going to be an all-day endeavor. We are kicking it off in the morning with a Bridge Connect session. Remind me what the Bridge Connect session is about. So we're doing a hazmat, level 1 hazmat inspection, and that's done with DPS, correct? Yeah, DOT and DPS. So we always thank them for that. It's something that keeps coming back every year. We do at least two of them a year. But again, join us. This is open to the general public. But again, it's basically to showcase the importance of transportation for the International Bridge and logistics. Friday, September 27th, this Friday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Pharr EMS headquarters, which is at 3000 North Cage Boulevard here in Pharr. Free admission. Then we have our first annual Drive for Trade golf tournament. So this is something we've been talking about. As we know, last year we started Fresh on the Border. It was a city initiative, and we in that week we had our start of the produce season and Taste of Trade, and we also started with something last year called Trade Talks. And we had an event in there called Crosscheck. So this year we're actually kicking it off with the Industrial Warehouse Summit that this year we decided EDC is taking the lead on that one. So the first event is on the 9th for Fresh on the Border for us, which is the first annual drive for a golf tournament. So right now we're still looking, it looks like, what are we at players, number of players? Or not players, but teams? We have about 12 teams, so if anybody's interested in playing at this golf tournament, please let us know, and we'll get you set up. And this is for Wednesday, October the 9th, one day before the start of the produce season, obviously at our very own Tierra del Sol golf course. And then, start of the produce season. This is the 11th year, the 11th annual start of the produce season. Very excited about this program. It's been growing by leaps and bounds just in the last 3 years alone. I think we're estimating a total of over 200 people to actually be in attendance. So you don't want to miss this one. We do have a great program, and we also included a Taste of Trade. This is going to be the third year that we include a Taste of Trade. And again, this is where our local restaurants come out and they showcase some of their little side dishes with some of these fresh products that are crossing through the Pharr International Bridge, such as avocados, berries, mangoes, and everything else that we're crossing through there. So don't miss this one. We're also celebrating our 30 years, so we'll be highlighting that at this event. So this happens on the 10th of October at 10 a.m. there at the Pharr International Bridge. And then the Trade Talks. So for this year's Trade Talks, what we decided to do was As we know, the Pharr International Bridge has been members, or we're associates with different organizations across the board and across the region and in Mexico as well. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to highlight all the associations that we are members of so that they can also, highlight what their benefits and their advantages are to the trade. A lot of these organizations are not, they might be well known within their surrounding by their people, but not by everybody else. So because I know we're expecting at least at a minimum of 100 attendees to up to 150 attendees, we want to make sure that everybody gets a spot there. They're either going to be placed in a panel or as a guest speaker. And what we're doing is, again, just highlighting all these trade associations, industry network associations that we're members of so that others can understand where we're coming from. And at the end of the day, that's a value added that we bring to the table on behalf of the city, on behalf of the Pharr Bridge, to other customers, to other entities out there. We're going to kick this off with Ken Roberts from World City to give us a rundown of the current, of the latest trade numbers. As you know, we invite him every year, but this year we're including him in our Trade Talks program. And then we're also inviting the second one after Ken Roberts will be NASCO, which is the North American Strategy for Competitiveness, which is the only tri-national association that we've been members of for a while. So it's going to be great to finally get them down after, I think it's been like 7 or 8 years since they've been down here. So they're excited about joining us, and everybody else that you see on. There's a lot of acronyms, but one of them that I want to highlight real quick is TXTA, because TXTA, they just launched their first chapter meeting, or first chapter meeting here in Pharr. And it's going to be for the region, but it's located here in Pharr. And we had over 55 in attendance for being the first meeting. I know that they were very excited. They even brought their chairman of the board. And we had a great presentation by Mr. Esparza, John Esparza. But this is only the beginning. So again, the more associations that we're members of, the more we're able to be in the know and what's going on in the different industries. Because I've always said, and this comes from experience, depending on who you talk to, if you talk to a transportation company, and then you talk to a customs broker, you talk about the same issue that's taking place, whether it be the economy, whether it be just cross-border trade, whatever it is, there's always going to be a different side to the story. So with this, it allows us to tell a story in full and in complete comprehension and understanding so that people can understand what all these issues are that are affecting it. There's always going to be issues. As of COVID-19, the supply chains have not yet recuperated at 100%. There is still a lot of lost businesses that are going under, unfortunately. So this is our time to kind of bring that to light, but also more importantly, to get more people involved. Get people more involved with these organizations to strengthen the partnership. And this takes place. This is on October the 11th, after the start of the produce season. It's all day. Breakfast at 8:30, kicks off at 9, all the way to 5 o'clock, and we're still kind of putting the finishing touches together, including the main speaker. And then after this, obviously, on the 12th of October, I don't have it up here, but it's the Avocado Festival that's being hosted by the city of Pharr here in downtown Pharr. That concludes my report.
All right.
Thank you, Luis.
Do you still need to go to executive?
What's that?
You still need to go
No,
to
we don't
executive?
have to.
No? Okay.
I can read them off.
Okay.
Continuing on the agenda, we move on to item 3, administrative 3A, approval of minutes for August 21st, 2024 for the regular call meeting.
Need a motion?
I motion.
Motion by Mr. Martinez,
I second.
second by Mr. Veas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3B, discussion and action, if any, on Asociación de Empresarios Mexicanos membership renewal in the amount of $1,000 for the year. We've been working closely with them and the EDC on some initiatives, so we recommend this membership.
A motion.
A motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Veas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3C, discussion and action, if any, on Border Trade Alliance or BTA 2024 patron membership in the amount of $2,500. If you recall, this used to be a $10,000 membership. We were able to bring it down, and we're still getting a lot of the benefits that we were getting back then. So this is for the entire year at $2,500.
Big drop. A motion.
Motion by Mr. Martinez, Second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3D, discussion and action, if any, on advertising with Rio Grande Guardian in the amount of $10,000 for 12 months. This is basically, the city is advertising with them, the EDC is advertising, so we just fall in suit with them.
A motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez,
Yeah, second.
second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 3E, discussion and action, if any, on advertising with the Advanced News Journal in the amount of $930 per month for 12 months. So this is for a total of $11,160 for the year. And again, we just follow suit with this one as well, as far as advertising, local advertising.
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3F, discussion and action, if any, on advertising with Texas Border Business in the amount of $1,950 per month for 12 months for a total of $23,400 for the year. And again, we follow suit with this one as well, advertising.
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3G, discussion and action, if any, on advertising with Inbound Logistics in the amount of $3,708.33 per month for 12 months for a total of $44,499. And this is something we've been doing for the past 7 years. It gives us a platform, not just in their publication, but at many different events at all corners of the U.S. and Mexico.
A motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Final 3H, discussion and action, if any, on COMCE 30 Congreso de Comercio Exterior Mexicano sponsorship in the amount of $6,000. This is actually something we're doing half and half with the EDC. So it's actually $12,000, but we're paying our portion, which is $6,000. It's the first time we're doing this. Again, it's part of the efforts that were part of the collaboration with the EDC and the bridge. And the gentlemen were here yesterday, but they had to fly back. This is something we've been talking to them about at least for a year now. And it's coming up. It's going to be in Aguascalientes. We're going to be speaking. We're going to be also on panels. And we're going to have separate meetings, a separate breakfast with some primary contacts.
This isn't with Noreste, right? That's
No, this is
separate.
COMCE
Exterior.
Nacional. Yeah,
Nacional.
it's all over, yeah.
A motion?
A motion by Mr. Martinez,
Yeah, I second.
second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
So now we just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Reyes. All in favor, say aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a good day.